We've got Pro Football Weekly's Way We Hear It, all the news, scoops, and rumors before they happen in Hub. We're starting in Dallas. Some interesting comments from Cowboys owner Jerry Jones about comments that Jimmy Johnson made about head coach Jason Garrett.
Yeah, apparently the Cowboys' former head coach and two-time Super Bowl winner got under Jerry Jones' skin a little bit when he said Jason Garrett should not be calling his own plays, that a head coach should be available to manage the game and that they should have assistants who are calling the defenses and offenses. Jerry Jones said, hey, listen, Jimmy Johnson and Bill Parcells, they're what I call walk-around coaches. They're guys who walk around and get involved in everything. But according to Jones, and I'm quoting him, my good friend Joe Gibbs told me that it's good for a head coach to take over one side of the ball or the other, that gives him credibility with his ball club. Well, what's interesting about this is that the only two people that Jerry Jones has ever won anything of note with are Jimmy Johnson and Bill Parcells. Johnson and Jones, of course, were very close coming out of Arkansas, and clearly there's a rift there now. And once again, this is a case of Jerry Jones responding in such a way that is probably more about himself than his ball club, because let's not forget, Jerry Jones was questioning Jason Garrett's play calling just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you never quite know with Jerry what you're going to get, but he's obviously defending his guy here. Anything against Jimmy Johnson at this point is probably the way he's going to go. In Jacksonville, we've heard over the years that maybe the Jags were the team that would be moving to LA, but things may be coming up now with their possibly being sold.
Well, here's something to keep an eye on. Absolutely, Adam. We were reporting last spring before the lockout that once it was over, Wayne Weaver would position this team for sale. It turns out now that general manager Gene Smith was offered a contract extension during training camp and turned it down because extensions were not being offered to any of his scouts or assistant coaches. So what you have now is basically the entire front office's contracts are up at the end of the season. If a new owner were to come in and want to start with his own people, he'd have no contracts to pay off. You've got Los Angeles still vacant. The value of the Jacksonville Jaguars will never be greater than it is right now. And we're hearing the possibility that Wayne Weaver is preparing to position this ball club for sale, and the Jaguars could be on the market as soon as the season is over.
We'll just have to see. It's always the big wait is who's going to end up in LA. We talked about the Vikings last week. Maybe the Jaguars. We'll just have to see. In St. Louis, things have not gone well this year. They thought this would be a step forward with Sam Bradford developing, the team playing a little better. It hasn't happened to this point. Steve Spagnuolo, Bill Devaney possibly in trouble?
Yeah, they're definitely on the hot seat. Now, the owner, Stan Kroenke, he's about as unavailable as any owner in the NFL. We're never sure what he's thinking, but everything we're hearing from sources inside that front office is that the heat is on, that these guys have to win. Spagnuolo's got to win football games, and some are questioning the talent now that Devaney has given them to win with.
And they really struggled. It was a brutal schedule early on. Maybe they'll play a little better and help these guys out down the stretch.
Yeah, I would think at least 3 or 4 wins down the stretch to save their jobs.
And that division is definitely possible. That's the way we hear it this week. For the best coverage of the NFL, check us out at ProFootballWeekly.com.